Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about the film Caught in the Draft, which is an American film produced in 1941 starring Bob Hope. It talks about a vain Hollywood actor who was very phobic about loud noises. It was even a problem in his acting career. And then he was filming a war film, and then the noises of the fake shootings, it upset him and he felt very bad. And then there was an army man who was working as consultant for the studio, and he brought his daughter called Antoinette, whose nickname was Tony. And then the actor, he fell in love with Tony immediately. However, he thought that her father was an actor and treated him disrespectfully. However, unfortunately, the woman's father, he was a genuine army man of high ranking. Then there was this problem, and then the woman, she was insulted with the treatment of her father. But after a while, he got to meet the woman again. His friends told her, because when she was leaving the studio with her father, she accidentally pushed the actor into a fake trench. And the friends of this actor, they told Tony that he fell on the trench in that accident and that his back was badly hurt. And then she went into his house to talk to him. Then she realized that the story was a lie and that the actor was in good health. But then he got to see her again. And in the meantime, he got to know that every man between 18 and 40 years old, they would be drafted to the American Army. And he was extremely afraid of going to the army. And the only way for him to avoid going to the army was getting married. He tried to think about many women, but he didn't like any of them. Then he wanted to marry the daughter of this military man. And then he proposed it to her. He got to be closer to her. He proposed it to her. However, when he listened to the radio that only men up to 31 years old would be drafted, then he gave up because he was already 32 years old. Then Tony realized what was the real reason for the marriage proposal, and she got very angry. After some years, the Hollywood actor realized he was really in love with her and decided to talk to her again. But Tony was really angry with his coward behavior. After all, her father was in the army, so she thought that it was a duty, a patriotic duty, that men go to the army, that they shouldn't resist to that. Then the Hollywood actor created a plan that he would be to the army, but an actor, he would be received by an actor instead of a real army man, and then he would pretend together with another actor that he was indeed drafted to the army. However, the actor who was supposed to be there, he didn't find any opportunity to replace, to substitute any army man, and then he didn't have a chance to be there. So when the Hollywood actor arrived with Tony to be drafted, he was actually received by a genuine army man. And then he signed the papers, and it was part of the plan with the other actor that he would be refused in the army on grounds of physical inabilities, something like that. But it was a real army man who received him. And he was actually, truly, genuinely drafted to the American Army. Fortunately to him, We must remember this film was produced in 1941. The United States only officially joined World War II in December 1941 after the attacks in Pearl Harbor. So at that time, fortunately to his character, the United States wasn't actually in the World War II yet. It was about to join, but not yet. So he was drafted together with a friend of him and his agent. The three of them went to the army, and they were sent to a training camp, and it was Tony's father who was in charge. By this moment, Tony had already fell in love with the Hollywood actor, even though she still thought he was a coward. And then, when the Hollywood actor joined the army, of course, he was treated like anyone else. But as soon as he joined it, there were cameras filming him and some celebrity treatment, which came from outside, but it was disturbing his activities in the army. And then it was his first problem there. Then he was called to supposedly drive a car, but the car in question was actually a war tank, and he couldn't drive the war tank properly, and he jeopardized other people, and he couldn't do anything right at first. That's the reality. And then, as a punishment, he often had to work in the kitchen, especially cleaning fish, and it was a problem to him. He wasn't used to that. After a while, he was in the training camp, and one of the friends of the actor, he had the idea, because there were two groups training against each other. Then he had the idea of exchanging the signposts, so the other group would go to the opposite direction instead of the direction that was planned at first. But then it would put the other group in a dangerous situation. Tony realized what was going on. Then she went on horseback to warn the other group about the mistake, to avoid them to get hurt unnecessarily. Tony took the matters into her own hands because she thought that the Hollywood actor, her boyfriend, that he was too coward to do anything by himself. But instead, he ended up really rescuing the other group. He warned everyone. He prevented Tony from getting unnecessarily exposed to a dangerous situation. And it's the common tale of the coward man who ended up being in a dangerous situation, but he proved himself, sometimes by bravery, sometimes by luck, but he ended up proving himself. And it made an impression on Tony's father, because Tony's father previously, he had said that if the Hollywood actor had a good performance in the army, if he could do everything correctly with bravery, that he could marry his daughter. He only wanted the Hollywood actor to do his duty properly. And he ended up doing that properly. And after that, Tony's father realized that the Hollywood actor could be a good soldier, could be a good patriot, could provide good services to his country, and he allowed him to marry his daughter. It is a very simple, entertaining comedy, typical of the era. It shows war in a very light-hearted way. It is interesting to see, even though the plot is common, it's funny. Bob Hope is a good comedian. He always has good comedy time. So it's really entertaining. It lasts around 71 minutes or so. And it's an interesting film. There's comedy together with romance. And I believe you're going to like that very much. That's all for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you!